start out with this picture because a lot of times I never get to it. There's a lot of stories and a lot of photos, and so this is of course the signing of the ADA, and we have on the right hand side sitting down is Justin Dart, Sandy Perino, the president. We have Evan Kemp Jr., the head of EEOC. Of course, Justin, I should say, is we consider him the father of the ADA. Fought for it for a long, long time with a whole bunch of us. And he went to every state to gather support. And we have Reverend Wilkie in the background. And what I don't have, of course, the vice president. Who was the vice president under George Bush Sr.? Quayle, and he was the funniest. As you see, the president is signing with he's got one pen. He'll write a little bit and then go ahead and put it down for somebody, and then take the other pen. And so Quayle thought, of course, I've got to give it to Reverend Wilkie. So he comes up and he takes one of the pens and hands it to Reverend Wilkie. Well, Reverend Wilkie doesn't have any hands. And the Reverend was trying to be really nice and say, no, I'll take it, I'll take it later, And Quayle, no, take it now, take it now. And so finally he had to take his shoe off and then take his leg up and take it that way. And Quayle, of course, was just like a deer in headlights at that point. But anyhow, let's get on. Back in the early days, and this is some of the early protests on curb cuts, and this is actually in Hollywood. The Hollywood curbs were some of the largest. You couldn't have a curb any larger because you couldn't step up on it. And I think about 2 weeks before this demonstration, there was a person in a chair that actually was hit and was killed as he was in the road. And so we wanted to make, we call it the Walk of Shame, so the Walk of Fame. And the policeman, of course, it was the first time you've ever seen anyone taking out a curb cut. And Diane, you can see Diane in both of these. And actually, you can see Carol Gill back up right in the hubcap up there. This is under Barbara Waxman. There's a great group of people in LA that came out for this. And actually, if you know Larry Voss, Larry and I were in a garage making this People's Ramp #1. It was red. It almost looked a little too communist, so we were hoping that no one would notice that. But here we are, the pieces. Some people still have those pieces. This was people got ticketed, and this is the courthouse. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer out justice, curb cuts, and not fines. Okay, this is in Tennessee, greed versus profits, and now this is the demonstration that was very focused on the United States. It was actually during a court case, Burnley versus DOT. And at the demonstration, a lot of the people here were members of a loose group called Americans Disabled for Accessible Public Transit. And that was a very big issue in ADA. In fact, we decided as a group to take one tenet of the ADA, which is transportation, and make that the focal point, because people could really see that. If you can't get on the bus, you just can't get on the bus. It's very obvious. During this time, this was in Philadelphia. That's the Liberty Bell. Actually, that's Diane Coleman again, and we actually took over the Liberty Bell. And actually, if you've ever seen the flags with the wheelchair stick person, that was actually done at a house in Denver, and we had all these stars that what we're going to do, how we're going to make something that looks just enough stars to make a person in a chair, and that's how it came about. That was the first time it was actually shown in Philadelphia. Okay, this is a Greyhound demonstration in Dallas. And disability for a lot of people it can be it's equated with charity a lot of times, and that we wanted to do is to make it a civil rights issue, which is definitely a civil rights issue. And so in doing so, we knew that the press had to see it in that light, and in the grand tradition of the African American movement and the Chicano movements, and we actually were arrested. We would definitely do nonviolent protest, and that's a lot of times that's the only way you could get the word out to the press and to other people. Here's a fellow from Memphis that was arrested. And people that actually were in the group of ADAPT were from all over the United States. People in front of that bus, separated. It was slogans, of course, during that time. Actually, during the ADA, when it was finally signed, the first thing that went into effect, and all the ADA tenants were actually transportation. There's Diane Coleman again. Diane and I lived together in LA. That's what happened. We went to the places together, so I ended up, of course, taking pictures of her a little bit more. No freedom to ride for rural disabled Americans, which is something that's why we actually fought against with the Greyhound. And actually, we're fighting again in Greyhound, and actually, we're fighting again with transportation. You just got to keep up the good fight. This was a demonstration in Knoxville, Tennessee, at paratransit, not picking up people on time. This was another Greyhound demonstration. Buses are for everyone. This is actually one of the fellow George here is one of the first people that if you ever rented the movie or saw the movie, TV movie, Remember Me, about institutionalizing young people. He was one of the first ones that actually got out from a lawsuit, and actually from that lawsuit was able to get his own house. Of course, he got people out, and then they realized they couldn't go anywhere because there was no accessible transit. That's how ADAPT actually started. This is LA. Every once in a while, we get very creative, and actually, they couldn't get out of this Greyhound bus, and which brought more news people in from LA and from the TV, and actually the people that were in the seats was thinking that what they were doing was just as important as what the protesters were doing, and so they were actually having a good time. 1980s handicap, Get Out. He actually ran for Congress. Let me see, Bill Bolte, Julie Farrar, SEIU person out of Denver. Another way to block buses is very easy to do that. It's just this is in St. Louis. Actually, you can see the arch on the other side. And this is in Philadelphia. Lips Not Lies, We Will Ride. Actually, in this hitting St. Louis was real interesting, because when St. Louis goes down, it backed up West Coast Greyhound buses and East Coast buses. They had 16 they trapped here, but all the other buses from both sides. This was about 6 hours, so it actually all the other buses were stopped in the United States at that point. No segregation. This is a storefront. Let's Not Lies out of Denver. And a lot of the times, the group ADAPT would follow another group called the American Public Transportation Association, which is the lobby group for bus, not bus companies, but for metro bus companies. And they went to Montreal, and this is actually a police line in front of the Queen's Hotel in Montreal. Here they thought they were really smart, and they contained everyone in the intersection, and they realized that they were blocking the traffic. Then they said that, then the judge, after everyone got arrested and everything, said no one could have no more protests in Montreal. So, of course, then we decided, oh well, the underground metros go from the mainlands to Montreal, so they actually got on, and you can see they stopped the metros. Here's Montreal again. Lily Beth, she runs the Independent Living Center in LA, downtown LA. More Montreal. This is Sparks, Nevada. That was kind of, during the early days, there were places where some of the people that were arrested and put in jail for a week. And some of the people, you know, some of the quads, if they didn't have a good a person that knew what was happening with their body, with their leg bags, their bowel movements and everything, then it could be, it's life-threatening. And so it was, and actually in Sparks, it was so bad that the people that people that were in jail, people with disabilities that were in jail, actually did a hunger strike, and some of them ended up in the hospital. Actually, Diane was one of the ones that actually ended up in the hospital too. Some more Sparks. This is where the American Transportation Association was having their convention. It was at a casino, and I swear the casino guards were like ex-mob, and we actually had a broken leg at one point in that. And it's always fun to watch the march, and at this one, and at different other cities, every once in a while they think that they can stop the march. And so the police cars will come, and they'll just block up the street, and of course then people go around to the sidewalks, or I mean in the vehicles sometimes you can't go to the sidewalks, so it's really hard. It's interesting that the police cannot figure out how to contain a person with a disability except for wrapping them. Here's one of the leaders, and as soon as she got done, then there was another leader. Basically everybody was a leader, and so they could never stop the actions. Break the chains of discrimination. And as you can see, I mean, these are images. These are images that that a lot of people don't get to see. A lot of people that need to see for that reason of making it a civil rights issue. And okay, this is one of the early. This was actually a protest with. The work incentives, very early. Paul Longmore was actually burning a book at this, in this demonstration right here. Barbara Waxman. This is a takeover of the governor's office. And okay, I'm going to wrap this up. This was another transit, closing down of a transit place. But as you can see, this is what we got. We got the ADA out of this. We had to fight for it, and any kind of civil rights, it was better to fight for than it was given. And and unfortunately, a lot of people who voted for ADA was still voting because we were disabled. It wasn't because we fought for it, and so that's why we're still having to fight for more transportation. in other areas also. So anyhow, that's part of our history.
Tom Olin. We have 3 awards this evening we're going to present. Our Community Bridge Award winner this year is Kate Pieri from the Cook County Sheriff's Office. Kate is not with us this evening, but a representative from the Sheriff's Office is here this evening to accept the award. The reason why we gave the award tonight is because for those of you that are aware of the housing crisis that's going on in the state and in the area, foreclosures are at an all-time high, and the Cook County Sheriff's Office has taken a very proactive role in trying to minimize the damage that these foreclosures place on people, and especially people with disabilities. Kate has shown an incredible ability to be able to do direct outreach to Progress Center to support people with disabilities that are being foreclosed on, to prevent them from just being put out in the street. And we felt like the work was important, and it was sustained, and it was genuine, and we wanted to give an opportunity to present this award to Kate and the Cook County Sheriff's Office. Accepting for Kate this evening is Chief Jim McCardle from Cook County Sheriff's Office.
Good evening. Katie, who will be ecstatic with this award, couldn't be here tonight. She's actually standing up for a friend, I guess it's called Maid of Honor, in a wedding out of town. But Sheriff Dart was very, very committed to making sure that anybody that the court mandated that the Sheriff's Department evict, that those people had a place to go, especially anyone with any type of disability. And that's the reason that he ended up hiring Katie Pieri. And Katie's sole job is to research every eviction that we have to determine whether or not somebody that is to be evicted has any type of disability, a senior citizen, or someone with very minor children. And Katie's job at that point then is to work with every community in the county, city, municipal agencies, to find a place for those residents to go, after the unfortunate eviction in the first place. So also the sheriff will be ecstatic with this himself, and Katie will get this on Monday. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Chief. The next award we're going to present this evening is the Annie Hopkins Advocate of the Year Award, and presenting that award is, suitably enough, Larry Biondi, our Advocacy Coordinator at Progress Center. Larry?
I'm privileged to be presenting Progress Center's Annie Hopkins Advocate of the Year Award. Well, what can I say about her? Let's see. I'm very honored to know this person for many years. She's been a fearless advocate for accessible transportation for people with disabilities, especially paratransit services. We served on many transportation committees together, and let me tell you, if she encounters a problem with riding either main line or paratransit services, she'll file a complaint immediately. She sets a good example for us people with disabilities who use public transportation, that we must be proactive and file complaints with PACE, CT, or Metra whenever we have issues with them. That's why we love her. This Advocate of the Year Award recipient also is a great advocate in Aurora and Kane County, advocating for housing rights for tenants with disabilities. She has been a good friend of Progress Center for many years. It's my honor to award the 2010 Annie Hopkins Advocate of the Year Award to Alva Rodriguez.
Thank you everybody for attending this annual meeting. And I've been a part of Progress Center for a very long time. okay? And, you know, I feel very honored with Progress Center and being part of Progress Center and all the disability community that have helped me to grow and to be a part of this, part of a, how you say it, culture and group of people that really have embraced me and others to become a part of this society. I've been with other CILs, but the one that really touches my heart is Progress Center. And they've always taught me how to be strong and to stand up for me. And they also helped me to be myself and not always be overshadowed by anything else. So I'm very grateful for all the people in Progress Center, and I love them dearly as my family, and I appreciate the time that they have shown me that I'm always welcomed, and I would like to continue on volunteering and advocating with you guys. So thank you.
Thank you, Alan. That was great.
Tonight, you know, media is so important, especially to promote the image of people with disabilities. When you see media, oftenly the commercial media, traditional media, they show people with disabilities like Petey, begging on the streets, playing guitars, and they think any blind person they see, any blind man, is Jose Feliciano or Stevie Wonder, if he's black or he's Hispanic. So we want to break that barrier and that stereotype. And there are media, we want media that really touches the image of people with disabilities with dignity. That we are not beating, we are not begging. We just want to have the same opportunities as anyone else. We want to be part of the social power, political and economical power, just like anyone else. We are not begging, we're not beating, we just want to work and we want to be equal just like anyone else. And tonight, I want to present an award to a TV show that has been on the air for 11 years. And they really talk about the dignity of people with disabilities. Do we have the award there, John?
I have it right by you, Rob.
Right here? Rob, thank you. So I want to present this award to Adapt Productions. They have been on the air for 11 years on Ken TV, Channel 19, only Chicago, only Ken TV, but they should be extended and be not only in Chicago, everywhere, national and international. So it's my honor to present this award to Adapt Productions for that great work they have been doing in the community, showing the real image of people with disabilities. Thank you.
Unfortunately, not everybody could make it this evening, but who's here, we're just happy that Progress Center thought of us in such a wonderful way. And they said, hey, now's your turn to have an award. Well, we love that, and you can see how hammy we all are. We're all up here. And Carol Gill's been great for many years, and for her having her name on it, well, we're very honored in that regard also. There's many people in this audience has been on our show, and they always said they had a good, you know, it was a good thing. And Tom Olin, when we were out running around in Washington and giving Hud a hard time. He was always there with his camera, and now tonight, he's here with his camera again for Adapt Productions. And we feel very honored. Tom, you honored us in the past, and you're doing a great job of it this time also. So anyway, thank you very much. Believe it or not, after 11 years, we're still having fun doing the program. And we're still raising hell with whoever needs to be raised. And happy.
Yeah.
And happy about it. So that's our story, and that's what's going on with us. And thank you, Progress Center. Thank you again.
Thank you.
You don't need sympathy if you got soul. You don't need sympathy if you got soul. You can hold out your hand, you can sit and beg, you can go sleep at night with that shame in your head. Let other people take control, but you don't need sympathy if you've got soul. You don't need sympathy if you've got soul. You don't need sympathy if you've got soul. You can play the games, you can get handouts, you can make them feel good by increasing your doubt.
Closed captioning made possible by support from the Costa Sea Foundation.